Bolshaw.
Right.
Ladies and yours.
Right, good evening gentlemen. I came before with the bones of this, which some of you remember, just the chassis, the bare chassis, which I've obviously laid a bit of stuff onto. The engine is, as Mike said, is an Isle of Man engine, which was made by Bay Peacock. Originally they were intended apparently for Sweden. There was two companies that ran to Peel and Port Erin and down the southern coast. And there was a northern company that went round to Ramsey. They were two separate companies originally, and then eventually they amalgamated. All the engines were like this. Some were a longer, I think this is actually the longer version. Some was a slightly shorter version with a shorter boiler, and I think quite a few of them were modified as they went on. I don't know whether they cut them in half and welded a bit in, but what they did, anyhow, they ended up with bigger boilers. The reason that I started this engine is because I go to the Isle of Man on a regular basis. I'm into motorbikes and steam engines, so it's a bit of a combination of the two. And I always liked the look of them. They were only a small engine, obviously, in 3-foot gauge, and I think they only weighed about just under 20 tons, which is not a lot. And they pull out of Douglas Station up a hill. I think it's about 1 in 47 with five coaches on, with the original 100-year-old coaches that have been refurbed over the years, obviously. But they are as was, and it goes up this hill, and there's absolutely it takes it really well. I mean, it's not mega weight, but there must be over 100 people on board when they go up, plus the 5 carriages. So they're again a little engine doing what they do. It's very much a reduced network, if that's the right word for it, in Isle of Man, as what it was originally. Just the line left that goes to Port Erin. It's got it's a sort of a version of the Stevenson valve gear, and I don't know whether it has not only does it lift up, the terminology about these jobs is a bit thin on the ground with me, but I think one side lifts up the valve rod and the other side lifts up the bit that's slotted. So one goes up and the other goes down. So I think one of the advantages is it doesn't take as much room under the boiler to operate at what it might do. And I don't know whether you lads know what valve gear that's called, do you?
I think it's called Allen.
Yeah, it's called the Allen straight link valve gear.
Yeah.
Well, that's it. If you want to pass it round, it's not nothing very. Just give it some. Pass it around. That it's nothing very much different, but it's just this business of rocking it up and down like that. I don't know if you can see that. Probably if I tipped it over a bit. And that's how that rocks up and down like that, and works the valve gear. When it came to timing this engine, I'd made all the bits and got them all sort of assembled of a fashion, and it come to timing it. How do you time it, you see? So I've done a bit of timing on it on ordinary internal combustion engines, mostly diesel engines, and the timing is it's always advanced before top dead centre is certain amount. And I got a bit of literature off Tom Anderson sent me a thing that said they were well, it worked out, it didn't say, but if you checked it, it was 15 degrees advanced. But advanced over what? So I got a boot, the model steam locomotive. I borrowed this boot by Martin Evans, who you've probably heard of, and all these valve gears were listed with great detail on what values they had, in mid gear, in partial gear, whatever you call it, notch back a bit. It altered the timing from being more up to be more advanced, which gets very technical. It said everything about all the valve gears that there was, and there's about 20 different ones in this boot. What it never told you a thing about was how you time it, not one mention. So I have a friend of mine who's admired to death with how to read plans more than anything else, and also he told me how to time it, and not that I disagreed with him, I just couldn't quite weigh it up, so I did the job as suggested, and I connected it up to air, and nobody was more surprised to me than when it worked. But it's obviously, well, it seems to be okay. He did check it over and passed it out as fairly okay anyhow. So it's cracked open, and probably you lads will all know all about half time more than me. But it's cracked open at top dead centre on the cylinders, just starting to admit steam, so it might be slightly advanced before top dead centre, but only a fraction. So, well, it's not what the answer is, but how you would say that it is. You could say it was, if it works, it's near enough, I suppose. And when it comes to making these bits and pieces, I've never done anything quite like it before, and I'm used to doing measuring, and one at one end and one at other, and when is that right? He said it's near enough. So I said, well, so he could say, well, that's, is it right? And he said it's bloody near enough, getting a bit more annoyed. So he says, near enough, is it right? And he says, it's bloody right. So the other bloke says, well, that's near enough. So timing it was a bit of an unknown. I had a great difficulty, and I don't think it was actually the plan that told you at all how to do it, but the bogie at the front, which obviously swings about a bit. The actual springing arrangement in the middle was very difficult to, well, I really did my own version of it to make it work, and it's slightly sprung, so it stops in the middle. The chassis, when I'm making the chassis, I wasn't very happy with I riveted these cross members up, which was thinner than I thought they should be. And when I finished it was walking really. It wasn't solid. It wasn't stiff enough. So I decided to make the cross members a bit thicker and weld them in. I filed it back till it was a nice neat radius in the corner, and I put some rivets in it as well to make it look as though I had done. And I got a good stiff result, and when I was reading through the plans at one point, I come to the point where he put a big piece of angle iron in the corner there to stiffen it up, so I thought, well, my idea is better than that.